Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video. I'm working on some more photos from my time in Dublin in 2020. And as you can see, I'm working on the Book of Kells. So, when I was in Ireland prior to this, I went to Trinity, but I chose not to do the Book of Kells exhibit. I just didn't care enough, I guess. Didn't want to spend the money. But when I went back this time, I looked into it because I knew I was going to go to Trinity anyway. I love the campus. I love to walk around there. There's tons of stuff right on the outside of the campus. So I knew I'd be there. So I thought, all right, I'll look at it again, see how much it is and all of that. Well, it turns out that the actual Book of Kells was not on display because they were doing some restoration work to it. So they were offering a discount for anybody who wanted to come in and just see the exhibit. So I thought that was my chance. I didn't need to actually see the book because really it's only open to one page. It's not like you can see everything in it anyway. So I thought, all right, I'll pay the money and I'll go this time. So I got some fantastic pictures from the exhibit and I'm working on some of those now. To get started here, I do need a 4x6 background for this. That could be a pocket card or it could just be pattern paper. I'm not sure exactly what I want there. And then I have an empty pocket, so I need a card here, either one ready to go or one that I make myself. And then over here, I need just a hint of background paper that's going to show behind this. I would be willing to use a solid, but I'm going to be picky. I have some specialty papers, like some that are vellum and some that have some gold foil and things. So I think I want to take those out and see if I can find something for here, because I also would be willing to trim this just a bit to let a little bit more paper show through. So I'm going to grab that bin and then I'll be back. Well, I didn't even grab my paper yet. I got sidetracked by a pile of stuff that was sitting on my extra table down here where I scrap. And this was in there. I think I want to use that. It's technically from an Asian set I had, but look at the colors. They're pretty perfect to go with this. And this is a very, ornate design. I don't think that this theme is totally out of line with what you're seeing here. So I think I want to work that in somehow. So I've pulled out my bin here so I can start looking for some possibilities. And so I have something like this. I'm going to move that blue because that's definitely not happening for this layout. But I love this. It's just a thin gold stripe. This is an 8x8 piece. Pretty Little Studio pretty much does the majority of their stuff in 8x8. So I have that. That might be a little too wild. I love it because it's vellum and it's somewhat see-through, but that might be a little too much color there. But then I have some others, where it's just the subtle polka dot background. This is dots as well, but they're a little further apart and they're a little more coppery. So I have stuff like this that I can look through here and maybe something in here will work. It's lots of glittery and sparkly things in here. So I'm going to test the photo on top of some of these. Now the problem is, of course, that the photo is showing through behind it, which might work, it might not. I may end up needing some white to show through, but for now, I'm going to remove that. Actually, I don't even need this. I can just look like this with the paper. So there's that one with the more random polka dots. Here's the one that's got the tight polka dots. I can tell you right now, I don't like that at all. So that one's going. And then I have the stripe here. Ooh, I don't mind the stripe. I like both of these. If I had to choose between them, I think I would go with the stripe just because this is so busy. This is slightly more subtle. Let's do this. I think it all does kind of work together. So if I cut this down to use it, either I have to use the photo on the other side because it's going to, be clear and show through. What is it? Oh, it might work for that, maybe. Or I have to put some kind of another background behind it so that the other photo doesn't show through. So I cut down the specialty paper to a 6x8, so that's ready to go. I did end up cutting off an inch at the bottom here. Now I'm considering, should I cut off this part because it's just black over there and I kind of don't like the way it looks. So I'm wondering if I should trim that off as well. Not going to do it yet, but I'm thinking about it. And I'm wondering if behind this, I should go for kind of this pinky peach coral color. I think that might be really pretty and actually lighten it up a bit because there's a lot of gold and yellow and brown in here. So a little coral might be a good mix. Now, do I have that in my stash somewhere? I have no idea because this is not a normal color that I would use, but I'm willing to look. Well, I found this strip of cardstock here in my stash of just my scraps, and I remember this. This is from an old club scrap kit. I don't know how many years ago, but this is kind of the perfect color. I really wish that it was bigger so that I could use it, because I mean, look at that. Let's test it behind here. Oh, it does look good, doesn't it? Dang it. Okay, so I have to go on the hunt and hope that I can find something that's the right size or that I can cut down that's remotely close to this, because I think that is the way to go. So we'll see if I have it or not. Cross your fingers. Well, sadly, I have nothing else that's this color. Of course, you know, that's just mean that I find it and then can't use it. So I've pulled two other papers that I have found that might work. They're much darker and different shades. I have this one, which is much more pink, but when I look at it like this, it's not bad if I do 1/8 of an inch matting in white. White has to be in there to bring this out, or it's going to blend way too much. Or I have this one, which is more of an ombre look, and a little bit of that yellow shines through, and there's more coral in there. So I have that. And again, I'd have to have white because it's too dark. So those are the two I'm trying to choose between. I think what I'll do is probably cut the white matte beforehand and then just lay them both out and see what I think. I did the 1/8 inch matte here, held it up to both of them, and I still can't decide. I'm driving myself crazy. So I'm going to take a break from that for a little bit, because I think I need to find the card that's going to go here. That will probably help me decide what paper is going to look better, depending on what I find for that. This, I have a feeling it may just end up being a white background to pull this in, and I'm okay with that because there's white up here. But I need a card here, and I think that color is going to give me direction. I think I found the card. I pulled this one out of my stash. This was not in my travel stash. It was just in my normal stuff. I'm not 100% thrilled with what it says, but I can live with it because I was happy to finally go to the exhibit since I had missed it before and was on the fence. This time I got to see it, and I saved money being able to see it. So I think I'm going to go with that one. This color is not the same as this, but it's a little bit closer. It's a little bit more of this darker coral tint. And I think that if I do that, this one is probably too much. Too dark over here. I think then I should probably go with pink and do this. I think that works better. Now, if I don't like these next to each other, I always could go like this too and have them spaced a little bit. Do I like that better? Not quite sure on placement yet, but at least I have the card picked out, so that helps. Then I just have to figure out where the heck do I put this thing. All right, so I have this all laid out. I cut a 4x6 piece of cardstock, and I don't think this can go anywhere over here. I can't put it here. Here it will cover stuff up. It's chipboard, so it's too heavy really to have it hanging off the top of this, and I don't like the idea of having it sideways. So I think it's actually going to end up over here. And I do have kind of some dead space there because the photo was taken at an angle. I'm wondering if I should just overlap it like that. And then I can stamp in there in black. I'll have black journaling over here. I'll have black here. That also leaves me some room that maybe I can put a small black embellishment or stamping over here. I also think I'm going to do some splattering in gold to bring out those tones over here since I've got a blank card, and here as well. All right, I have it laid out pretty much the way it's going to look. I did adhere the photo, but I am not going to adhere this transparency foiled piece of paper. There's no need to. I can just set it right on top of here when it slides into the photo sleeve, and it'll be fine, or the page protector. It'll be fine. So I don't have to worry about that. I've done my splattering, which I think looks good on both of these cards there, just a little bit, and actually a tiny little bit right there too. So then I just have to figure out what else do I want to add in terms of embellishments, and then I have to figure out a phrase to stamp in here. All right, I did my stamping there. I went with the word special. It was hard to find something to fit in that space, so that one worked. And then I decided to also stamp remember this over here, and I chose a more flowy font, a more cursive font, because I thought it looked better with this. And then I also chose a little bit of black and white washi to go there to bring in the black. And guess what? I used up a roll of washi. This was a very old one I had. I think it was from A Beautiful Mess, from one of their messy boxes way back in the day, several years ago, but I finished it, so I'm super happy about that. And then, as I was looking through just a stash of stuff of other things that might match, I found this. This was part of a ticket that I cut off for something else. I'm almost positive that's what it looks like, but I can't remember what it was. But it's pink, and there's just enough left that says date. I could put it right up here, fill in the date, and then this one is probably done, because that pink, it's a little lighter than this, but I think it works to pull it all together. I had a ticket for an exhibit. I think it works. I decided to fill in the date just so I could see what it looked like. And I do like it. I think it brings in just enough of the black. It'll look good with the writing down here. I put in a tiny little staple there, and that's it. So here's another one done for Dublin. Thanks for watching.